Shohei is a human freak. I think Shohei was made by AI. Shohei is a human freak. I think Shohei was made by AI. Really. Shohei is just amazing. How can you get the feel for pitching so early in the season and use that variety of pitches effectively all night against a pretty good team? Because they can ball. Those guys are young, but Jose Ramirez and those guys, and I saw Jose Ramirez hitting left, take a swing on a fastball, that when he went to swing, the ball was right there. The ball was going to hit him right there. So that's a lot to say. And that was a fastball that he yanked a little bit. He wanted to get it in there because he knows Jose is quick in there. But, man, that was impressive to watch.
Well, Max's first home run of the season tonight happened to be off of a lefty, limited to home runs off of lefty last year. Just what does that say to you as to kind of where your swing is at and how good did it feel just to get that result today?
Yeah, well, I didn't have to wait till May this year, so that's it's a good start. I feel really good in the box. I got a lot of at-bats off lefties in spring. I think I had more at-bats off lefties than righties, actually, and I feel really comfortable up there. Some of the stuff we worked on is sticking really well right now, and just got to keep progressing, into the season.
How are you seeing does this offense come together as a whole right now?
Yeah, we're still finding our stride a little bit. We've had some opportunities that we haven't cashed in, but we're putting together really good at bats, and we've just been getting pitched really tough these first couple of games. But I like the at bats that everyone's been taking, and we've been having a couple of results here and there. But that's kind of baseball. You're gonna have stretches where you go off and stretches where you don't.
Have you gotten used to watching your PH and leadoff hitter throw 6 or 7 again?
I don't know if I'll ever get used to that. It's pretty special. It's really hard to put into words when you actually see it in person. What he's able to do, and really my only thought is how good is that guy going to sleep tonight.
I feel like in some ways he's gotten better on that.
Well, I know everyone talks about his hitting, but getting to know him over the years, he really loves pitching. Like, he loves everything about it. I think pitching is what he's really all about, and so just to see him continue to progress, it's no surprise to me at all. It's just pretty incredible.
What gave you that sense?
It's just, when you watch him go about his work every single day, he's really bought into everything with pitching, his mechanics, how to attack, hitters. He just focuses on it so much, and you can just really tell that he loves it.
Yeah, have you guys kind of been waiting to see a full-time two-way version of him these last couple of years? How much have you guys just kind of been looking forward to kind of seeing how a year like this will go for him?
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. It's just if he's able to do it the whole year, that's just a huge boost to our pitching staff, which we already feel really good about. And I expect nothing short of almost a Cy Young out of him.
Over on the other side, they said it was pitch count that got Bybee out of the game. He only went 4 innings. When their ace leaves a game after just 4, for your side, psychologically, does it do anything?
Yeah, it's kind of the whole goal is to get the starter out of the game. The more bullpen arms you can see, the better chances you're going to have. It's obviously not saying much these days when everyone comes out of the bullpen throwing 100 with nasty stuff, but still, the more opportunities you get to see guys, the better your bats are going to be, and so the more bullpen guys you get in, the more often you're going to see them throughout the series, and that's always the plan.
Almost a Cy Young? Is that your way of not putting too much pressure on him?
I think he's got enough pressure already, but it doesn't seem to faze him at all.
Do you like playing in the rain here?
No, that was zero fun. Especially since I'm wearing the glasses now. I didn't like having to stay hidden in the dugout and not be up on the top railing trying to keep my glasses clean. So I wasn't a big fan of that one.
Dave, just with Shohei tonight, obviously the weather did prove to be a bit of a challenge, but just how he navigated 6 shutouts today, how would you describe what you saw from him?
Efficient, pitch mix was good, sequenced really well. I thought Will did a great job with him. I thought the targeting, the catching of the baseball, the fingers, all that stuff was great. He used the challenges the right way, and he and Shohei were in lockstep tonight. So really good outing from Sho.
Even after such a good outing, he was
Shohei was really focused on, like, I want to feel more loose and easy. Just what do you take from that reaction from him?
Typical. I think for him, he's never going to be satisfied. There's always something that he can, improve on or get better at, and that's what fuels him. But it was a good outing. So I think, and honestly, I think offensively, he's taking walks, and I think he's swinging the right pitches, and those hits will start to come. But it was just a solid night.
I feel like he's harder on himself as a pitcher than as a hitter.
Yes, absolutely. And I've talked about it a lot. His demeanor when he's pitching is different than when he's just hitting, and I do think he's more critical as a pitcher, certainly.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know the answer. I think that, pitching you can dictate, and hitting you're more of a reactor to what the pitcher's doing, and so I think that because he's more in control with the pitching things, he thinks he can control it more, which in one sense you probably can.
How much more impressive does it make it for him to go 6 scoreless after only making 2 starts in the spring, pitching in the rain, just kind of everything that went in night circumstance-wise?
Pretty impressive. I mean, the conditions in we saw in his lives in Tokyo and wherever he was in Miami, or pitching in Arizona, and then coming and pitching, with these conditions, he's unflappable. And obviously in that last inning, the mound started to get to him a little bit. So being able to fix it and kind of get his footing back was good to get through that Hoskins at bat. But he's not a whole lot kind of affects, his mind.
Dave, you said that you'd like to, in a perfect world, mix in a 6 or 7 day schedule for Shohei, but that it's fluid. How much of that fluidity is based on Shohei himself and his performances?
Not a lot. I think that, appreciating the fact that it's a long season, and, the schedule that he's been on, his time pitching, and, I think that just kind of being mindful to give ample recovery, and he's also an everyday player. So I think that's important. So I think it's always good to hear that he feels strong enough to pitch more frequently, which is great. And at some point we might do that. I don't know when, but I think that, status quo right now is pretty good. I don't, but I don't. It's going to be probably 6 days rest, something like that. But I'm not sure exactly what the pitching guys have in store for him.
Dave, when they throw their ace at you and he's out of the game after 4 innings, what impact do you think that had tonight?
Well, I think that he was throwing the heck out of the baseball, and I think he came out his first start, so I think they just wanted to be careful with him, appreciating the long season. So I think we caught a break, to be honest with you. I mean, the guy was throwing the baseball really well, so found a way to win a ball game. But yeah, they're taking care of their guy.
How much do you think the kind of condition of the mound and the weather had an effect on Diaz tonight?
Big time. So it was good to see him lock in once the hit batsman, the walk. But I do think it affected him. The footing with the pitcher is everything. And then, when you're landing and you don't trust that you're not going to slide to potentially hurt yourself. So that matters. But it was good to see him lock back in.
Did you just not want to, after he gotten that one, just not waste that, bring him in after you guys went up for it?
Yeah, I wanted to win the game. And for me, it just, 3-4 save. Eddie is in. So it's not just padding his save statistics. So I wanted to win the game.
Dave, did you come to initially to take Shohei out, but then him?
No. His last hitter was going to be Hoskins, though. I just wanted to make sure that he was equipped, the mound was right for him to face that last hitter. Because I wanted Vesia for a full inning. So I wanted to give Shohei the best chance to get Hoskins out. So that's why, I just kind of took the initiative to go out there and get the footing right.
You think he was going to be too modest to ask for something like that himself?
I don't know if it was modest, but sometimes, pitchers are in it and they're just kind of trying to just get through it, and then, for me to just kind of see what's going on, and we could all see what's going on. So just to, get his cleats back to normal and the mound right, I think it helped.
Can you remember pitches like this here?
Not here, not very often. We're very spoiled here.
Have a fully built up sort of start to the season, being able to go with 6 innings in the first sort of outing.
しっかりオフシーズン、スプリングトレーニング、しっかり準備期間っていうのがあって、今回6イニング投げれたっていうことに対してどう思いますか？
まず投げれたのがすごい良かったですし、6イニング投げ切れたのもまだ良かったとは思うので、難しい天候の中でしっかりと6イニング、決まった球数の中で投げれたのは良かったのかなと思ってます。
It's good to be able to start the game, go through 6 under a limited pitch count, and even in this condition, I thought I'm going to put it, charge it to experience.
Do you feel like you're a better pitcher maybe than you were even last year? Dave said that your stuff's even gotten better than it was when you first came back.
今年の方がピッチャーとして成長して良くなっているのかなと監督がおっしゃってましたけど、
それは毎年毎年良くなるようには努力をもちろんしてるので、そうなるように努めてますし、終わった後にシーズンが終わった後に一番良かったと思えるシーズンならそれは一番いいことなのかなとは思ってます。
That's my intention every year is to be a better pitcher, better player, and I hope that at the end of the year, my intention is to be able to look back and say that was a really good pitching season.
In what way do you feel like you're better?
どのように？
なんですかね、投げ心地がまずいいのが一番かなとは、去年も良かったですけど、なんていうんですかね、あまり向きにならずにというか、今日はその中でもちょっと最初の方は力入ってたなっていう感想はあるので、それが次回以降の少し課題なのかなとは思ってます。
Last year I felt good. This year I do feel a lot more loose and easy pitching overall, and looking back at today's outing specifically, that wasn't necessarily the case, so that's something I want to work on. But compared to last season, I do feel a lot loose and easy.
Yeah, he looks loose and easy, and it looks like mechanically everything is just so smooth with Shohei Ohtani. Even though he only had 2 spring starts, like you mentioned, Nomar, he goes out there, throws 87 pitches, allows just 1 hit.
Yeah, when we saw him last year when he was coming up, obviously kind of getting no rehab starts. He has to do it at the big league, but coming off his second surgery on the elbow, he was even getting interviewed and talking about, I'm not worried about trying to throw 99 to 100, getting up there. He's like, I'm fine around 96. It's more about repeatable mechanics, going out there, knowing that he has 99 when he needs it, but just knowing that he can get guys out at that mid-90s, but feel more fluid, feel more free. And I think that has carried over into this season, obviously, where you get a full off season of working to get to where he is right now.
And here is the K-zone of Shohei's night.
Yeah, it was really impressive because if you look at where all his pitches start, they start in the middle of the zone, they break to the outer half, and this is why all the hitters are looking for fastball. I'm going to look 97, 96. He was also getting ahead, so he's throwing strikes, but then he can come with the off speed, the curveball, the split finger. That was dirty right there. I mean, where it started, and then it even ended, and it was questionable whether it might have been a strike anyway. You get the swing and miss, you slip, but he was really, really good, just mixing all his pitches.
Outstanding job by our crew back there, just highlighting. You see that strike zone, the red, and then it darting out of the zone. That's what pitchers do. In order to pitch efficiently, yes, they love strikeouts, but they chase soft contact. They want you to put it in play soft, so they have to use 4 or 5 pitches, sometimes 6 or 7 in a bat, put it in play early. Greg Maddux made a career, a Hall of Fame career, by chasing soft contact. He used to always say his ideal perfect game would be 27 pitches. You put it in play weekly, not a strikeout. That's what Shohei Ohtani is doing. And Nomar, you made an excellent point. He's not going out there chasing 100 miles an hour. He'll hump up when he has to, but what he does is nice rhythm and tempo delivery, almost putting the hitter to sleep, and then boom, slow breaking ball. Nice splitter. fastball when he needs to, in the perfect location. That is pitching fun to watch.
He says he would love to win a Cy Young, become the first Japanese pitcher to ever do so, off to a really good start with the win tonight and the 6 scoreless innings. Let's head inside the clubhouse and hear from the man who caught Shohei tonight. It's America's catcher, Will Smith.
Limited start everything away on every time has it, but just to see where he's at this early in the season, just pitch mix tonight, how would you just describe that stuff?
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, kind of mixed and everything. Figured guys out. 6 scoreless innings.
Does it look different compared to last year?
No, it's kind of the same mix. You know, he continues to work and try to fine tune things, but you know, pretty similar to last year. You know, I only think he's getting a little better maybe, but yeah, it's really good.
How much of a boost does he get? I mean, he's mixed so deep that he can go as heavily to the curveball today, or a different night it could be splitter and everything like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of any game. You're figuring out what's working that night. You know, what the hitters aren't really seeing. I think it's curveball a little more maybe. He's doing a good job, you know, mixing speed and everything. Nothing just sitting on the curveball or whatever.
The offense really hasn't gotten going since opening day. How much of that is just kind of getting your legs under you? How much is the way that teams have pitched the last few games?
I mean, I feel like he's actually look at our bats, we're swinging at the right pitches. You know, hitting the ball hard, some, you know, misfortune. But yeah, it's baseball. We're not going to go out there and score 10 runs every night. You know, we're going to have to find ways to win. That's what we've done so far this year. Even though we're not, you know, putting up 10 runs a game or whatever, but that's who we are. You know, we just go out there and find a way to win, and we do good.
How tough are the conditions with the rain? Is that?
Yeah, it's something, you know, we don't really have here in LA too often. I don't know. I thought it was fine. You know, some of the pitchers kind of struggling to like keep their footing and stuff. But you know, guys got to get adjustment. It wasn't too bad.
Do you feel like you have a good understanding of like KBS now and how that works?
Yeah. I mean, it's a strike zone. There's times it's a little more valuable just to challenge as opposed to not.
What's the feeling of like when you successfully overturn?
I don't know. It's good to overturn it, but also, you know, kind of frustrated when you get called a strike. So sometimes you want the strike, obviously, but sometimes you want it to maybe be the other way around. You stole a strike or something. So I don't know. It's fun. It's good in the elements of the game, and you know, something we got to keep working with.
What's your confidence levels going into the last one where you barely clipped?
Not very confident. You know, I figured it might have clipped, might have not. It's a good time. You know, to get strike one there. We have 2 challengers left. You know, so flip a point right there. We got both.
Thank you.